the inside, so you have to switch it off to make sure that the RO doesn't kick on while you're busy draining the water.
So maybe just start from the beginning. So
Okay, normally it's on. But
normally
if you,
it's on
yeah.
that position.
Yes, with the arrow. But if you're flushing the tanks and it's running on this, the RO water, it's best to switch it off to make sure that you don't get any of the dirty water into this membrane here.
This is the flushing system now. This is how.
This is the RO. This is reverse osmosis.
Yeah.
It purifies the water.
But now we're just showing how you flush it.
Yes, yeah. So you first
So switch it off.
Now it's
Okay.
off. Yeah, and then you go outside. You always work it from right to left.
Okay.
And it is 3 different settings: the off, then you'll hear the other pump kicking on, then it's the fast clean and the backwash. And you need to change between the two. Currently the water is not clean because I already flushed.
So that is what. So that's backwash now.
Yeah. You this one is the iron filter. You can see it's like a lot of iron and stuff.
Yep.
So it's got 2 tubes in the inside. So when you rotate this one, you see the water. Well, that one doesn't change now because it's clean. But yeah, the water will go dark, like almost like coffee dark.
Yeah.
And then when it runs clean, then you switch it over to the other side, and then it will be light in the beginning, go dark again, and then eventually go light, and then you switch it back, and you have to do this until the water is completely clean like that.
Between the 2 pods or whatever it is, the 2.
Yeah. You can actually see there's some papa coming out now, but that's actually nothing in comparison with how it looks normally.
Okay, so
Normally
you
it's
just
like Weibo steel.
because that's normal. That's the way it is normally.
Yeah, that's off now. And then there's the backwash and the fast clean. But either way, it does the same thing. Yeah,
So you do it between the backwash and the fast
Yeah.
clean. You alternate,
Yes,
and that's plugged into the tap.
yes. And you just remove this one off.
No,
When it's clean like
okay.
that now, then you put it on this one. You do the same thing, like you can actually put the water now. See?
Oh yeah. Okay.
And then, okay, well, you have to wait until it runs clear. And then you switch it over. And then it's going to go clear, and then it's going to go dark again.
And how often do you have to do this?
Every day.
Every single day.
Every day. Because
Okay.
these things start clogging up, and then there's too much chachas going into the membrane, and you're going to have to replace the membrane.
So every day, yeah. Okay.
Now you can skip a day, but then you have to make sure that you flush it properly the next day.
Sure. So when do you normally do it? This time?
No, I normally, like when I have time, I do it, because the more you flush it, the better it is, because then it stays clean. Otherwise, Craig will normally do it first thing in the morning when he's on duty. And also when he's in the evening on duty, then he'll also do it in the evening.
The best is that you just have a checklist when you tick off. So I've done it. So that at least you know it's
You can,
done.
also, you can actually, the guy that did this for us is called Ivan. You can put timers on it, so it does it automatically, but it is very pricey. And also, like he said, he won't advise it for us because our water is really,
Bad.
yeah.
Sure.
And then pretty much, then you go through this one, then you do the next one, and this one is a little bit tricky because it's going to fool you and it's going to show that it's clear, but if you run it long enough, then the chachas come out. And then lastly, you put it on there, which you open up just to make sure that everything is flushed out, and then when that water is run clean, then you switch it on.
So how long does this whole procedure take every day?
In the morning, it normally takes about an hour, hour and a half.
Hour to do this every day? Sure. It's a big job this. So what, do you have to stand there for an hour doing this every day?
Yeah, because as soon as the water runs clear, if you let it run, like say for instance now you see the water is really bad and you go and to the office and do some work and whatever and you leave it for half an hour, all the shit goes and gets stuck in the head, this head, then you have to throw the whole thing away. So you have to rotate it every time when the water starts running clear. Otherwise you have all the muck and stuff.
Sure. And then how often does this get serviced?
It's due for service. But this is not really like, this is not too bad. Ivan, he goes through the pipes and everything. And
Where do you find Ivan's details?
it should be on the thing there. Otherwise, if it's not on there, I'll put it on the contact list.
What's his company's called? Is this it?
Helder water.
Helder Water.
Yeah. He did all the installations and everything. Like
When
pretty
was-
much just to explain to like this, what happens is there's the well point. Comes from the well point, goes through a chlorine filter. From the chlorine filter, it goes through a UV filter, and then it goes into this tank here. This is the dirty water. And then from the dirty water, it runs through the pressure pump, through this filter. No, not sorry, not through this filter yet. From the pressure pump into the, this one is for the iron, this one is a glass one, and that one I can't remember. Runs through all that, then it goes through the RO. From the RO it goes to the clean tank. You see there, and then from the clean tank, there's another, it's like almost like a calcium or some type of mineral filter, that one, to bring the pH up, because the RO takes all the pH out. So this brings the RO, the pH up to make sure that your pipes don't rust. It runs through there, then it goes through the pressure pump and then into the mains of the house. There's this tap here. This is the stopper for the RO. That tap here, it's open now. So we're on the RO water now. You have to close that tap, and the other tap has to be open at the back.
So sorry, we're on the RO now.
Yeah. So you see this tap is open. If it runs with the pipe,
Yeah.
it's open. If it runs
So
opposite
we're
the
working
pipe,
on RO. So if there's a power failure, that's a tap you switch off.
that's the tap you switch off. Yes. It runs into the hot water system.
So if you don't switch it off and there's a power failure, then what
Then
happens?
there's no power. Then there's no water now.
Oh, because it needs the electricity to. So when you switch that on, when you switch that off, automatically it runs onto the mains.
You need to go switch first. Before you switch this one off, you first open up the mains to make sure you don't have any air locks in the system. Otherwise, you're going to have all the joints locking out when the
So you need to switch it on first, and then
Then you close the tap.
you want to show us where to switch it on quickly.
That's the water mains from the city.
Okay, so that's off at the moment.
That's off at the moment, yes.
Off is running like that way. Okay, on.
Yeah, so you first open up this one, and then you close that side.
So, okay. So it's anti-clockwise.
Yeah, lefty, then righty, tighty, lefty, lefty.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, did you close it now? Or did you
Yeah, no, close it.
Close it. Okay, just make sure, because you don't want both the water sources to run at the same time. Because
Yes.
the city water and the RO water, if those two mixed, it can also cause almost like a irony effect in the water. That thing over there is the very expensive valve that Inspector put in. There's also a non-return valve here. But
Yeah.
that's the expensive non-return valve that Inspector put in, because that's city regulation, because they're scared we contaminate their water, although our water is much cleaner.
Okay.
We don't fiddle with that though. That's always open and everything. That is just like if there's a serious problem or whatever. But very important to know, there has to be the one-way valve here, because which was, thank goodness, even thought about it, if say for instance the power goes off and the non-return valve is on the opposite side, then it doesn't matter what you do, then there's no water in the lodge. And say for instance if there's a fire, then all the fire extinguishers don't work.
Sure.
But now with this one, it does.
Okay.
So it bypasses everything.
Sure. So also if there's a burst geyser, do you switch off here or you switch
No,
off
then you
there?
switch off at the geyser itself. All the geysers have an inlet tap and an outlet
Okay.
tap, and the plugs at the bottom.
So if there's a burst washer inside, then you switch off where?
Every single washing basin and toilet and shower has to have a what do you put it?
Oh, like a closing tap at the bottom.
Make sure that all these rooms didn't have that originally installed, because otherwise if you have a burst pipe, it's going to have a major problem.
Yeah, the floors, everything.
Switching off at the bottom.
Like this under each, but even the shower, what if, I mean the shower, I
Yeah,
suppose
the
that,
shower is also supposed to have, but like it's like every what do you call it? Every room has its own stop for that.
stopcock.
A what now?
A stopcock.
But yeah, okay, like I said, okay, these ones are all off at the moment because we're sort of saving energy.
Those are off.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, these ones are all on,
Yeah.
and they're switched on, and it's also there's the outlet valves.
Okay.
Yeah. So if a geyser bursts, you have to close at the top and you have to close at the bottom.
Okay. Alright, sure.
Otherwise you wouldn't. Just hot water sitting there.
So when do you switch these on?
Only when you max capacity, but it's not even necessary for
So these two?
all of them. It's more, these ones are more for backup. If we are full, and there's like a lot of kiddies and a lot of people, then we'll switch on another one. If
Then how do you switch it on?
Firstly you switch it on here.
The tap.
Yeah, no. You first switch it on, you leave it for an hour
Yeah.
to make sure that you don't have the cold water running into the system, because all 4 geysers run on the same system. So if
Runs in
if a
series,
guest comes
like
to
a
you-
lawn.
Sorry?
It runs all in one lawn.
Yeah, if a guest comes to you and says, yeah, I don't have hot water, it's like, yeah, well, if I had hot water this morning, then you have to have hot water. But yeah, very important to first switch it on so the geyser can heat up. Then you open up the taps so it runs into the system. Otherwise, you have cold water mixing.
Okay, but you need to open the bottom. That's coming in and that's going out.
Yeah.
Where's the taps at the top there?
That's over here, like right on top of it.
Okay. Sure. Okay. So you only switch this on really if it's a full house. And probably in winter.
Yeah, in winter time I think it's. I would advise because originally they did have structures around them with the what you call geyser blankets. But so yeah, to put like the geyser blankets around and maybe just to put covering around them, it keeps the water warmer and also saves electricity.
Okay.
Otherwise, they lose too much heat.
Okay.
And that's about it.
So let's finish on this thing now. Yeah. I've digressed.
Just be careful when you switch it on sometimes.
So the RO just works all the time then, or is there a timer that it works on and off?
There's in this tank. No, in this tank, sorry. In this tank, there's actually in both tanks, there's floats. So for instance, if this tank starts running lower, then you'll hear the other pump kicks on when you like this one. It starts supplying the dirty water. And once the clean water hits about here, the RO starts producing water. Then the RO kicks on automatically.
And what happens with the dirty water? Where does it? Sorry, no?
The dirty water goes through the filters into the machine.
And that's what you use. I thought the clean water and the clean water.
Goes into that one.
Oh, this is the water from the
Yeah.
from the borehole.
Yes.
Okay, so the borehole goes in there, and that's the end product.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the clean water. It's cleaner than Belpray, and then the dirty.
And the muck is now muck at the bottom here. Or?
Yes, the muck at the bottom, like once every couple of months or so, you'll see there's a pipe lying here. There's a tap around the corner, then you connect the tap, and then you put the pipe also in the drain, and then you let all the, you'll see it's like this nice
Tap where?
slushy. That one there, that red one. There's an old nozzle that you connected the tap the hose on.
And who knows, Craig or?
Yeah, Craig does that normally, but like I said, this is normally every 2-3 months or so that we do that, just to get all the muck.
And then once you connect the
hose pipe,
yeah.
and you just put it in the drain, so that comes out.
So you just put the hose pipe.
Yeah.
I don't see where.
There's a nozzle there by the tap.
Oh, there. So you just put it on there, and that's closed. So you just run it
Yeah, then
open.
you just open it and
Until
just
it
with the
clears out.
pressure, yeah, until all the crap clears out. We actually had, just before you took over, there was a problem with it because the the downpipe has like a mesh thing around, and then with all this mud and
Just
crap and whatever
plugged.
started clogging up, yeah. So we had to take all the pipes and everything out and clean all the pipes out. It's like it just looks like mud.
Yeah, it's like sludge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so you just have to do this now. So now you're still busy because it looks pretty clear now.
Now it'll clear for a minute, and then see how nice get clear.
So you stand here for an hour every day. So you think
I
this?
normally run around when I'm like still doing this, like this today, the water's dirty again. If you clean it properly every day, then it's obviously it's going to work much better, and then also you can bring the time down. Because that's also why I prefer to do it at night time, and then in the morning it goes a little bit faster. So the more you clean it, the faster it is to clean.
This could also be the lot of electricity used by this thing.
The RO uses pretty much the same as an aircon.
And how many hours does it run a day?
It depends on how busy we are. Like how many guests are in house. That's 10,000 litre tank, so if you have some asshole that showers for an hour, it's going to go empty. But otherwise it's...
Well, it's a toss of whether it's cheaper to buy municipal water or spend on
I don't know,
electricity.
believe me, this is cheap. And it's cleaner. Because the nice thing is people can drink this water. I wouldn't advise drinking municipality water. You can actually smell there's a difference in it. And also, who knows, maybe we're going back to water restrictions one day again. Because we got this installed just when the water restrictions were so heavy.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. City of Cape Town was actually the other day here, a couple of months ago. They asked us, yeah, why did our water bill increase so much? Do we have a borehole or a well point or whatever? And the thing with them is if they know that you've got a borehole, they want to put a meter on it and then you have to pay for the borehole water also. So we just normally tell them, it's like, no, we're just really good at conserving water. We don't have to water the garden and people only have 2-minute showers. We had even in the rooms, which was actually my sister's idea, little duckies that she bought at Chinatown, tiny little duckies with a little card on that says please conserve water and whatever. I still have a hell of a lot of duckies upstairs. But yeah, so you put that at the bath, you put it at the washing basin and to remind the people because they notice the ducky and then they read the sign.
Okay, so you just filter that one and you do the same with this?
Yep.
And the same with this?
Yeah, then on this one, it's pretty much, this one also we use to fill up the pool with. This is also where you see
Okay, what's the difference between this and this?
This is just the outlet.
Okay,
When you,
okay, so this used to got to do the same as that now?
yes, as this. And then with this one, you just plug it in and then you leave it open for a while just to make sure all the muck is out before you start the RO.
But what are these all on that closed position? Is
Yeah,
this a
that's
closed
good.
position?
Yes, otherwise there's going to be water streaming
So
out.
then where's this coming from?
No, this one comes through the filters. This is just the outlet,
Okay.
a normal outlet. But this tap we also use to water the garden, to fill up the pool, everything because this takes the salt and everything, all the minerals out of the water, but it still doesn't make it drinkable.
Okay.
Before it runs to the ROs. Like for instance, so when you connect it on there, you don't have to, like for instance, you can switch it on city water, whatever, the RO runs or whatever, but preferably switch the RO off, plug it in there, fill up the pool, it can run the whole night or whatever because you're not wasting water, you're just getting water from the ground. It's not going through the RO, so you're not wasting electricity.
So switch the RO when this is on.
Yeah, switch the RO off because otherwise the pressure is not enough. Like this, if the RO has to kick on to start making water again, it's going to take majority of the water through there, and then you're going to have like a little piece drop. Where if you just switch that on. Like
But this has been cleaned from sludge already.
yeah,
Coming through has already been cleaned for sludge.
yeah. Then all the sludge and everything is out, so the water is actually clear. It's always just.
But then what's that noise now? Is that
That's the pump, the pressure pump.
filling up with water in the dirty one?
Yeah.
But then that triggers the borehole to go on. That triggers the borehole to go on.
The well point, yes.
So you didn't do this one? Or
No, I didn't do this one. I'm just showing you now with that one. Like, see, that was just a normal tap. Like, if you want to water the garden or you want to fill up the pool, you don't
Okay.
use city water, you use that water. And just make sure that the filters are clean and you don't backwash it into the pool because then you're going to have a problem.
brown pool.
Believe me, it has happened. Well, actually, that wasn't really the thing. We had 2 years ago, right before Christmas, the guys from the pool came and they put chlorine in the pool. That pool does not take chlorine with this water. And
Is it a salt pool?
It's a peroxide pool.
Peroxide
Yeah,
pool?
they put peroxide in the pool to keep it clear.
So there's no chlorine at all?
No chlorine. If you put chlorine in there, you'll see, like, especially if you put a lot of chlorine, it's going to start turning like a little bit of a green color, and then overnight it's going to turn to khaki. And then you're going to have it farmed down.
So they only put peroxide in?
They'll put some other chemicals and stuff in, but the pool guys will always tell you if they have to neutralize the pool and they have to put something in when the guests can't swim. They will come into the reception and they'll say, for the next couple of hours, please don't let the guests swim or whatever. If the pool does turn brown, if the pool does turn brown, you get alum powder.
Yeah, no, I use it. That just drops everything to the bottom
Yeah, and then nobody swims.
for 24 hours and then...
Word of advice, don't get distracted and take the wrong tap because then you are going to get very wet.
If you it's going to spray on you. And then the pool filter, the pump goes just ready to get the stuff off the floor, the dust ready. It doesn't do anything but that.
No,
So there's no chlorine, just from this water and
Just
peroxide.
yeah. They'll sometimes put a little bit of chlorine in, but not enough.
Never heard of that before. I suppose because there's no algae, because it's already been cleaned, this water.
Yeah, this thing looks amazing.
So before that you were just using the municipal water?
Now we just use this water. According to City of Cape Town, we need to use municipality water. So yeah, otherwise if there's no water being used, then there's a problem. But yeah, so we need to use municipality water. So normally what we try and do is we run the RO for, say for instance, for the whole week, and then when Craig goes off on the Saturday, we'll switch it over to the city water. So it runs for like a day or 2 days. It runs on the city water, and then we switch it back to the RO again, just so that the meter runs and they don't complain.
When Craig goes off, he goes off when on?
Like when he switches, like for instance, he takes Saturday off, and then a Sunday night he works on the Monday night. So we'll put it, for instance, the Saturday morning, we'll put it on the city water, and then the Sunday night when he comes in, then we'll switch it back to the RO water and flush the systems and everything.
Okay. It still looks clean to me. Oh, there you go. Okay, so you'll do this, and eventually when that gets clean, then you'll...
Yeah, then like after that one, then you just run it on here for a little bit to make sure that all the...
So you haven't done that one yet, the small one?
No, which one? The closest to us?
Yeah, you haven't done that
No,
yet.
not yet. Like I said, always goes from right to left. If you want to do like a deep cleanse, you run it right to left and left to right again.
You say this one's a bit tricky because?
It's like, it's kind of cons you because you have to run it for quite a while. So
before it
get
gets
all the
dirty.
shit at the bottom
Okay.
out, yeah. Because then as soon as the shit starts coming out, then it will run for like half an hour sometimes. And then after you go through the little tap, the normal tap, and everything is flushed out of the heads and everything is clean,
Yeah.
then you switch the RO on.
Which is?
Big button.
Okay, so now you just turn it on.
Yeah, but I'm not going to do that now because I don't want to take the
And
chance.
all these other buttons you don't touch.
No, that's not buttons. It's just like for instance, the green
Oh, it's
button
just
will
locked.
be on when it's running. If there's an error, like for instance, say it sucked air or something like that, or the pressure is not high enough or too low, then one of these things will, the R will kick off automatically, not to hurt the engines or anything, and one of the fault lights will come on. This is the valve. I don't know if you want to know any like all of this also.
Yeah.
This is the pressure valve. The pressure always has to be on one bar. Like if you switch it on, that one will first start picking up until the pressure is right, and then the R will kick on when there's enough pressure in the pipes, because we don't want air in the pipes. And then this thing has to be on one bar. If it's the filters are dirty, like say if it was running 2 days and it hasn't been flushed, you'll see the bar pressure comes down to 5, and then it doesn't produce enough water to supply the house. So it always has to be on one bar. If it goes over one bar, the RO will actually kick off because it's too much pressure. This is
So you use
the
that,
drain.
do you use this for anything? Do you ever switch that off? No?
Sometimes yes, depending on how the pressure works, because sometimes the pressure is just a bit crappier. Like if there's shit is in the pipe. It's also good for every 2-3 weeks or so on. You switch the RO on, let it run, and then you open up the this tap is for that there where the water normally from the RO comes out, the spillage water. So then you actually flush the clean water through the membrane to get all the cuck out of the membrane.
So sorry, just repeat that.
Like once a month, when the RO is running, when
But
it's
so it
on
must
and
be on.
everything, yeah, it has to be on. Then you just open up this tap, and then that's the drainage pipe. And then all the clean water will rush straight through the membrane, and that will kick all the other
What,
dirt
for
and
like
everything from the
couple of
membrane.
minutes or?
Yeah, you leave it for, you open it up, leave it for 3 minutes, then you close it again so it can build up enough pressure. Then you open it up again, you do it about 5 times over 15 minutes. Just to get all
Sure.
the muck out.
Sure, there's a lot of stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
How did you know all of this?
And then,
What's the guy's name?
Ivan,
Ivan.
big guy with a red beard.
And where's his office, or
I'm actually not sure, I think he's in Somerset.
Sure. There's no number or anything up for him. But you'll,
Just quickly check, I have his cell phone number, I'll WhatsApp it to you now also.
so that's it, nothing else. Just, I
No,
suppose he
nothing
can
else.
always tell us. And this, what is this?
That is to, okay, that's pretty much for Ivan's use. The key is for this box here to open it, but we don't fiddle inside there. And then that handle thing is, for instance, if you want to remove the filters, if it has to be serviced.
Okay, so maybe just read his number and we'll have it on the video.
No, I'll WhatsApp it to you soon now. Let me just find him.
Okay.